Hello guys, and welcome back. So let's continue where we've left off. The next thing that we want to do is to add time in our game. Okay, so but before we add that, let me just show you something. So remember, when we get into the game, like we just enlarge this a bit. Alright, so when we start the game, if we choose the other color, like players black, okay, then maybe if we choose select whatever we want to when we start playing. So initially now we have chosen the black color, which means the AI is white, but it's not playing the first move. Okay, so the computer is supposed to start the game here because we are black. We are not allowed to start the game. So before we put time, I think let's also make this work so that when we change we play as black, the computer should be able to play the first move. Okay, so for that we just need to come back into our code here. So you see this on move, it's only working when we are white. That's when we play the first move, and then the AI will play the second move. Okay, so what we need to do here, let's create another method here. So this one, let's call it as a void, maybe let other player play first. Okay, so this is when we are black. So let's make it an asynchronous method as well. We're gonna need that later on. And then so here what we're supposed to do is, so this will run on our init state here just when this class starts, this game screen. So if we just start putting our methods here, we'll get an error. So we need to wait for the class to build and then do our methods. So to do that, we need to say widget flutter binding widget flutter binding, this one dot instance. It should be widget, not flutter binding, should be widget binding, like this. Okay, dot instance dot at post frame callback, like that. So this one we don't need, we can just do it like that, it's fine, or you can leave that, it's okay. So we close that, and then inside here, that's when we need to run our code. So the reason why we are doing this is we say wait for widget to rebuild. We don't want to immediately run this method, we'll get a crash. Okay, so inside here now we need to run our method for the computer to play. So we are just going to do exactly this part where the computer plays a move. Okay, let's just copy that and paste it inside here. So to call the game provider, let's just copy it from here, and then let's put it up here. Let's put it inside here like that, and then this await, we can put the asynchronous wait here, and then maybe we can remove it from here, it's fine. So now when the activity starts, the class, we just going to run this method. We'll check if it's our turn. If it's the computer's turn, if it's its turn, it will play the random move, and then it will set the AI to thinking, and then it will set the square, which means it will set it to our move. Okay, so now we just need to run this down here, but before we run it, let's check if this class is mounted. You say if mounted, then we can run this method. Okay, so that's how we do it. So this one, the if mounted, we are only checking if you are inside here. If we're not inside here, we don't want to run this method, otherwise we'll get an error. Okay, so let's go on ahead and restart our application and try our method if we select black. Okay, so I'm running the application. So the application has started. Let's go on ahead and test it. Let's select black and then let's play. So you can see now the AI has played the move because this has ran, and then now it's our turn. Now we can play. Now the on move is working. Okay, now it has played because after this is running, now what is making it play again is this one. So now we can continue playing with it. It will play. Okay, so now that is out of the way. First, let's do the time now. Let's now we can play as black. We can also play as white correctly. We can now work on the time. Okay, so for that, let's go inside our, we can close this. Let's go inside our chat provider. I mean, not chat provider, it's called game provider. So here, let's create some methods for time. You can see that we have initialized this time already. Up here we have this and this. Now it's time to create the methods for time. So let's see, where can we put those? Maybe down here after the game difficulty. Alright, let's do it. So first, let's create a method to start the timer for black. Okay, so when white plays, we want to start black. When white plays, we want to pause this time and start for black. When black plays, we want to pause this time and then start the timer for white, and so on and so forth. So let's create for black first. So let's say start black's timer. So here, let's create this method. We say void start black's timer. So let's take some required arguments. Required build context, and then what else can we pass here? Let's also pass maybe a function for the new game, just in case the game ends with time. Okay, so let's also require a function new game. We will need this in the future, so maybe let's call it on new game, something like that. You will see why we need this later on. And then down here, let's have our methods. So let's say black's timer will be equal to timer dot periodic, and then let's say constant of duration, which will be seconds, not 1. We know that we decrement by 1 second. So this time we don't need it. We can just put an underscore here, or you can just leave it and then come down here. So what looks like we haven't created the instance of timer. So let's go up here and create. Yeah, so maybe after this one, we can say timer. So this will be nullable. Then let's start with white timer. like that. And then also let's create for black timer, black's timer, and then let's also create getters for this timer. So we say timer get white's timer, and then which will return our white's timer. Then let's also get for black timer get black's timer, which will return our black's timer. So that's our getter. And then let's come down here. Our error is gone, so let's come down here to finish this. So now here we need to say black's time. Okay, so now we are getting this black's time here. This is a time, so now we are getting this black's time. Remember, we have, don't get confused, we have black's time, which is a duration, and then we have a time, black's timer, which is a time. Okay, then we have saved time, which is a duration. Don't forget that. So now we have black's time. This will be equal to the black's time, which is there, and then minus, we are going to subtract 1 second constants of duration. Remember, this black's time is duration. This is a time, so we're going to get the current black's time, the time which he has, and then we are going to subtract 1 second. Okay, like that. So each time this black's time ticks the 1 second, we are going to remove 1 second from black's time. Okay, I hope this is clear. And then now let's we are going to notify the changes so that we can listen to it each second. Okay, so now the other thing that we are going to do here is every time we're going to decrement by 1 second. So if we are decrementing every time, and then every time we remove a second, we need to check what has remained. So let's do if we'll check black time is less than or equal to duration dot 0. So if it is 0 or less than 0, we know it can be less than 0, but we're just going to put it anyway. We don't want to say if it is equal to 0. So if it is less than or equal to 0, we want to cancel it. So we want to say black's time dot cancel. So what we are cancelling is a timer, not time. Black's timer dot cancel, like that. And then we have to put a now check here. Okay, so we are going to cancel it, and then we are going to notify the changes, which means black's time is finished. Okay, so at this time we are going to say black timers if it's like this. So this is a black's timeout. Okay, timeout, which means black has lost the game. Okay, so at this point we're going to show a dialog for game over. Show game over dialog. Okay, so once his time is finished, then here black has lost. Okay, so we can say print black has lost. Okay, so at this point black has lost. Okay, so this is our method to start black's timer. So here we know that we are coming to this method to put the dialog for game over. Okay, so now let's do the same for white. So let's just copy this and paste it here. So start white timer. Here let's change it to white timer. So here we have to change it to white time. Also here it has to be white time. Here white time. Here white timer. So here the comment to be white timeout, then white has lost the game. Okay, show game over dialog, which means white has lost. So there is a method to start white's timer, and then there is a method to start black's timer. And then we also need two methods again to pause, because here when white plays, we are only starting black's timer, but we're not pausing his time. Okay, because what happens in chess, when you play, your time stops, the other guy's time starts counting. So let's create those methods up here. So let's say pause white's timer. Let's create void pause white's timer. So this method, we're not gonna take anything, we're just gonna do what we need to do here. So let's say if we check first if white's time if white's timer is not equal to now, because we know it can be now. Okay, if white's timer is not equal to now, what we're gonna do is to get white's time. So here we are getting white's time and then plus, we know that this white's time here, where is it, white's time, this one, there is also this value which is incremental value. Okay, it's not only the time, there is also the extra value. It can be 0, or it can be a number, so let's not forget that. So what we're going to do is going to get white's time and then plus equals duration, and then here we're going to get the seconds, and then we'll get the incremental value. Okay, because that's how time is in our chess game. There is another value after time, so it could be 5 plus something. Okay, so we are going to get this whole value, and then we're just going to cancel it. Okay, this white time. Okay, if it is not now, we'll just have to cancel it. Okay, so let's say white's time dot, we add an I check and then we cancel. This is supposed to be a timer, white's timer, and then we have to cancel, and then we will notify the changes. Okay, so that's it. So once again, we are checking if white's timer is not now, and then we are going to get this white timer. We are going to add the incremental value to it, which will be the new current value for white. Because let me just explain it again. So in chess, if there is an incremental value, once you play a move, we are going to get the time that you have, and then they will add the incremental value. If they, let's go back, if for example I choose this plus 3, what's gonna happen? Let's go back to white and then come back here. So what's gonna happen here is, if I play like this, my time is going to be equal to 0, this 5 plus 3 seconds. Okay, so that's what we are doing here. When pausing our time, first we will get our time, and then we will add the incremental value, and then that's when we will pause our timer. Okay, so which means our new time now is this time plus the 3 seconds that was added. Okay, I hope this is clear now. So let's copy this and do for black. Let's copy, paste it down here, then pause black's time. So here it's going to be black's timer. If it is not now, then here is going to be black's time. We know the incremental value is the same. When you choose there, you also choose for black, and then here it's the same, so it's going to be for black. Okay, so there is our method for pausing. So this one is black, pausing white's timer, pausing black's timer, and start black's timer, start white's timer. Okay, now we just need to implement this in our methods here. Okay,